Hi, my name's Scott Love, and I'm the founder of the Attorney Search Group, a legal recruiting firm focusing on partners for the DC and New York markets. If you've been paying attention to the changing legal landscape, you've noticed that lateral recruiting of partners with loyal clients is a top priority for many firms that wish to avoid decline and keep growing in a healthy way. Law firms are facing concurrent pressure on multiple fronts, and it seems that the best way to grow strategically is to add clients. The best way to add clients is to bring those people on board that have that trusted advisor relationships with them. And these, as you know, are partners that work for your competitors. Keep in mind that when you're recruiting, it's not all about your firm. It's not all about that partner. It's all about the client. Ultimately, that's where the focus should be, in my opinion. From my perspective, I believe that the perspective a firm should have is, how do we get those clients to transition over and feel safe with our firm? That's what we need to think about. Let's look at some of the trends that are forcing the issue on law firms, and then I have some ideas and specific solutions I hope that helps you improve your process of growing your firm. Here are a few trends that are affecting law firms right now. First, ever since the American Lawyer started publishing profits per partner, it's added a new level of transparency on a key metric. Is this good or is this bad? Well, it really depends on what you're trying to figure out. I've even had many conversations with law firm leaders express concern about how other firms are calculating those numbers. Is it a fair way to level the playing field? Well, who knows, but it is what it is. Many times partners and clients will make a judgment call on the quality of a firm based on this singular metric. What that means is that, like it or not, firms are facing increasing pressure to keep pushing that number up. Number two, another trend relates to capturing business from clients. I'm sure you're aware that the pie of potential work is shrinking. In-house counsel and others that purchase legal services, they're trying to think of ways that they can sharpen their pencils and tighten up the budget. Maybe they can get it done by building an in-house department and increasing in efficiencies. So what this means is that price is an issue. Or is it really an issue? Here again is the dilemma that we face. Firms are having to make strategic decisions and ask themselves questions such as, what business are we truly in? How do we see ourselves? How do others see us? And how do we want them to see us? If you've seen one big law firm, you've seen them all, right? Well, that's how they might look on the outside. But the more that you can differentiate yourself and develop a narrative that highlights your distinction, then you escape the hollow middle. You can either go high or you can go low. You can either go Tiffany's or you can go Walmart. Both are viable models and both work well. And if you can't be first in a subcategory. For example, who was the first pilot to cross the Atlantic in an airplane? It was Charles Lindbergh. Who was the second? Nobody knows, nobody remembers, nobody cares. Who was the first female to cross the Atlantic in an airplane? You guessed it, Amelia Earhart. There were four other people that crossed the Atlantic in an airplane before she did, but she was number one in a certain subcategory. Number three, some firms, like I mentioned, are asking the hard questions that every successful company has to ask. Yes, it's a business indeed. Some have made selling work a top priority. Now, the S word, selling, I know it's a scary word for many in the legal profession because nobody wants to be seen as an ambulance chaser. But here's a sales tip for you. Put yourself in the path of those people who someday when they have a need, they will call you. What this means is that some firms are getting strategic and even tactical in pinpointing these opportunities and putting themselves in that path before the proverbial hockey puck gets there. They hire people who are masters of data analysis to find hidden opportunities. They hire the equivalent of chief sales officers to advise partners on how to capture work. These are people who are never lawyers, but were successful at selling professional services. Some firms will even give a budget to each partner so the partner can go out and hire business development coaches. And what I've also seen is that some firms are doing none of this. They can keep their heads in the sand, and they're not focusing on client development, and that's no problem for you, I'm sure, if you're taking steps to be proactive about that. But this is a trend that I see that some firms are not going to adapt, they're not going to change, and at some point, the same way a kitten can easily unravel a sweater that's pulling on a loose yarn, eventually the entire firm begins to evaporate, and you've seen it in the headlines of legal media. Number four, the final trend I've seen is that any weakness is magnified by the pressure from legal media. Any potential crack in the armor, it gets more pressure from the attention of those that read media in the legal profession. The goal of media is to get more eyeballs looking at their websites. They sell more advertising that way. And to all my friends in legal media, we know what it's really all about. Nobody can stop watching that car wreck on the opposite side of the highway when we drive by. And anytime something bad happens, it can exacerbate a weakness in your firm, and it adds to its potential demise just because the media can magnify weakness. Now here's the good news. Out of all these trends, you have a choice. Here's how good lateral hiring can ameliorate these problems and strengthen your firm. First, remember that lateral partner recruiting and hiring, it's the most effective form of client development. Say a partner brings over 6 new fantastic clients that are his or her key clients. It's not just the clients. It's that trusted advisor that has already earned access to that circle of trust. And now he can share that client with other needs that they have with your colleagues. And hopefully this partner can serve your existing clients as well. Ideally, that's what it's all about. Setting expectations with everyone from the beginning is key. The most successful law firms focus on the client during the very first conversation with that potential partner. Number 2, a good hire adds to the optics of your firm, especially if that partner came from a prominent firm with a good name. Your firm can borrow the brand equity of that other firm. Tip number 3, the goal of each partner is to integrate successfully and to serve the client. And you know the drill. Integration is key, and I'm going to share some ideas in future courses in this series on how you can do just that. Number 4, here's a shocking statistic. Let's just say I have a quarter in my hand, and I'm going to tell you how that future lateral partner is going to work out. I'm going to flip a coin. Heads, he's going to work out. Tail, he's not. That's the percentage that we're dealing with here in terms of probability. How do we increase the odds? Well, we train our staff and those partners that are involved in lateral partner recruiting on how to use game theory to give us an advantage. When we hire people, we have a clear process in place. We increase the odds by having a process in place with capable staff who can actually sell your firm and execute in a timely manner and getting people situated and integrated. That's how we increase the odds. In this series, we're going to look at tactical ideas and strategy to give you much better odds than 50-50. It has to be better than a coin flip. Otherwise, why waste your time? So as we go through this series, I'm going to give more specific ideas on topics such as integration, defining a process, looking at 3 reasons to hire a partner, how to get leadership involved in recruiting, how to define a compelling narrative, how to change the culture of your firm as it relates to recruiting and client development, overcoming partner objections, and much more. This is going to help you increase in your effectiveness in growing your law firm through lateral partner hiring. Now, if you have any questions, any ideas, any comments, you can email me, scott@attorneysearchgroup.com, and please visit the sponsor of this series for data management ideas as it relates to law firm information and data at leopardsolutions.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk with you again real soon.